Hopefully you can all hear me. It's been a long time since I've seen you all. So welcome to a very, I thought I would just do this because there's a lot of fear and anxiety and distraction again regarding masks. So I thought I would hop on today as a little impromptu live tapathon. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Penny Kroll. I am the founder of Meta Consciousness. I am an EFT trainer and a matrix re-imprinting trainer. So welcome all. Thank you, Renara, for my saucy specs. I'm looking a bit windswept. I was getting a bit panicky because it's a long time since I have been on these lives. So as people are joining us, just pop in where you're from around the world, and do remember this is about masks, so we're not going to get political and say what it is or not. As every EFT practitioner, we're here to alleviate the suffering, to alleviate the fears. So it's irrelevant tonight, my views, my politics, it's okay. It doesn't really matter about me. This is all about you tonight. So for those of you that have never tapped before, if you haven't seen, there is a little video by Andrea and Janice. Hop off here, go and have a look at that video. And we will be touching our face tonight because I've been doing this for 15 years and I can't stop it. And here are the points. So welcome everybody. And just pop in where you're all from before we get started. Now, masks. Well, this is so interesting, isn't it? So many different cultures from over 2,500, even up to 5,000 years ago, have used masks for various reasons, for celebrations, for protection, for war, for going into battle, for celebrating childbirth. There's so many reasons to wear a mask. There's also face coverings, burqas, so depending on your religion. So again, so many different types of things to actually cover our face. The thing is, in the West, we're not used to it. And just by simply, and for some reason my mask has disappeared, that piece of material covering our face can actually make us feel hotter. And I know this because I was in the supermarket the other day and I felt extremely hot and my glasses steamed up. So what's happening for you guys regarding masks? What's that feeling that you have? And in the next half an hour, I'd like to break this down into 3 segments so that we can invite ourselves to regain our sovereignty, our own agency, that we're giving ourselves permission to breathe whether we have a mask on or not. And breath is such an interesting thing, isn't it? It's the first thing that we do, it's quite important, and it's the last thing that we do in our life. Now, what came up for you simply when I said that? Breath is the first thing that we do in our life and the last thing that we do in our life. Should we just simply start tapping on that? So even though I acknowledge that my breath is so important, it's the first thing that I have done in my life, and it'll be the last thing that I do in my life. However, today I choose to take in enough oxygen so that I can continue living, because I'm safe and sound in the here and now. So even though I acknowledge that my breath is the first thing that I've done, and it will be the last thing, today I acknowledge that I can choose to breathe whether my face is covered or not. So even though breath is the most important thing in life, it's the first thing I did, and it'll be the last thing that I do. Today I choose to breathe correctly. And I have a choice whether my face is covered or not. Top of head. I choose to breathe. I can breathe. I am breathing. Am I breathing correctly? Perhaps I'm not. What's happening in your body simply saying this? Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Perhaps simply thinking about a mask, I cannot breathe. I have no breath thinking about something covering my nose and mouth. Put your hand on your heart. Now, before we go any further, putting your hand on your heart, think of a beautiful trunk or a box. Just imagine what that box or that trunk would look like. Maybe it's jeweled, maybe it's simply cardboard, maybe it's stronger, maybe it's concrete. Because we're going to use this box that if any memories come up that you don't wish to go to, that are of your traumas, whether in this life, in the womb, or a past life, you can simply put them in this trunk or this box, close the lid and lock that box so they're safe there, and then you can work with a practitioner. So let's just share what your boxes look like. Can you just pop in to the comment boxes what your box look like? Okay, breathing into your heart. So we're not breathing, obviously we don't really breathe into our heart, but we're focusing on our heart rather than our lungs. Because if we start trying to focus on our lungs, we can actually stop breathing. I used to do this quite a lot when I was in stress. And the worst thing that people can say to you is, calm down, relax, breathe. These are all very triggering statements. So, all of these masks that can feel suffocating, blockages of air passages, can't breathe, it's hard to breathe. The sensory feel of that cloth against my face, it reminds me of something. Perhaps reminds me of censorship, of not being able to speak out. Remember, if anything big comes up, put it into your beautiful box. Renara's got a beautiful navy leather box. Sheila's got an oak box that's very old. Sarah's got beautiful diamond stars. So what is going on when you think of that? Maybe somebody has tried to stop you speaking in the past. A hand over my mouth. That hand over my mouth. Perhaps it wasn't even in this life. Keep on tapping through the points. But now I realize that that hand is not there anymore. This is simply a reminder of that censorship. This cloth is simply a reminder of that hand over my mouth. That cloth over my face is simply a reminder of not being able to speak. I'm here in the here and now. I'm safe. I'm here. Just look around your room. Look at some colors. If you're getting triggered, what 5 colors can you see? Look down at your feet. What size feet do you have now? Remind yourself that whenever this happened, maybe your feet were smaller or have different shoes on. You're here, you're now, you're safe. Today I choose whether I put a mask on or not. even though some supermarkets are telling me and shops are telling me I have to. Perhaps it's only a cloth. Perhaps we can start reframing this if we want to go into a shop. Perhaps we have a choice. Perhaps it is only a piece of cloth. Perhaps we feel ashamed that we couldn't speak out. Where are you feeling this inside your body? Perhaps I have a choice to breathe. I've been breathing all my life. I've survived until now. Perhaps I can survive even with that piece of cloth over my nose and mouth. What's happening in your body? Just pop into the chat box. Simply observe your body. What's going on there? Give it a shape, a color, a texture. And now I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit weird, because I've been training with Stephen Porges about the polyvagal theory. And I'm going to invite you just to think about, if you were, put that mask, just simply think about it, that tiny piece of cloth. It could even be a piece of tissue. I've got a piece of tissue here. Might not be. Now, as you do that, observe what's happening in your body. It's got a bit of cat hair on it, my tissue. That's brought up a bit feeling disgusted. I've just put a tissue over my mouth. That cloth, where has it been before? So there's a lot of tension. A lot of tension in my body. I can choose to wear a silk scarf. Like Vendetta, V for Vendetta. Perhaps like Anthony Banderas that wore the mask. I'm thinking, getting my movies confused. But going back to Stephen Porges, when we think of that nervous system, which is based on our breath, let's think about our hearing. Because our ears are starting to form when we're 21 days in the womb. And of course, in the womb, we can't speak out. We can move. So I would invite you to keep on tapping and simply listen and really focus on your ears. Is there any tension in your ears? What's happening? Can you ask your ears? Can you ask your mid-ears to relax? And taking a little breath in through our nose, counting to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Repeat that. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Oh, sorry, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale and count to 11. Do that a couple of times. I'm going to go silent for a little while to allow you all to really observe as you're breathing in what's happening to your ears. Is it safe for you to release your ears and the tension from your ears? And you may be wondering, why is she talking about our ears? Because it's so important. If we have that little piece of cloth over our mouth, we can tune into our ears, because this is a very primal way of picking up danger. And unconsciously, our middle ear tightens when it's under stress, straining to hear the approach of voices or footsteps that signal danger. So this is really incredibly important to tap and release that middle ear tension. And another way to do this, you can take a really quick breath in and then blow out for longer. And you can do this while wearing the mask, or practice it as you're going around doing your normal daily tasks. And another way that really helps our vagal system, because it's important that we breathe out longer, is singing. Now, at the end of this, I'm going to play a little song. But if you're wearing a piece of cloth over your face, whether that's silk bandana or whatever, the surgical mask or whichever you choose, start humming or blowing out. It's like a wind instrument. Now, I don't play any instruments, but I think there's a special name for that pursing of lips when you... So try that. I'm going to keep on tapping. Rebecca's saying, why am I deaf? I have been since a child, or even birth, but never asked until now. So perhaps with a practitioner, Rebecca, you can explore what happened either in the womb or while you were coming out through the birth canal, that you heard dangerous sounds. And we can hear them, as I said, from 21 days. Feeling a slow pulsing turning in my middle ears. Beautiful. Feels better. Feel a real opening in my ears. My inner ears are angry. Simply tap on all of that. Starting to feel better. My inner ears are angry. And anger can be a really positive emotion, I think, because it actually can spur us on to motivate us. So what are your ears telling you? If you were to ask your ears, take a quick sharp breath in and blow out. I know this looks silly. Great. You had a good loud sing. Mine are throbbing. So all these throbbing tension in my middle ear. I'm listening to you now. I give permission for you to hear, to be safe. I'm safe in the here and now. Perhaps I don't feel that I'm listened to. Perhaps nobody's listening to me. And just let's check in how everybody is before we move on. Keep on tapping. And then when I asked people how they felt about masks, they said that they were concerned that people were taking them off and putting them on, taking them off and putting them on. And I know that I've just recently travelled to Turkey, and in Stansted Airport, I was feeling really hot running around the airport. And so I did that thing that I saw other people doing. I pulled my mask down so I could actually, because I felt I couldn't breathe because I was getting hot. And it was only sensory on my face. However, doing the hokey cokey with masks. Do we have them on? Do we have them off? We have to put them on in shops. But we can go to a bar and drink alcohol and take them off. We can eat processed foods with them off. And that's okay if you don't feel anything in your ears. Sometimes it can take a little bit of getting used to. Lisa's dog is staring intently at me with my face covered, and my ears are hot. So mask off, all this conflict, all this division. Signs saying yes, signs saying no. Hokey cokey, in, out, shake it all about. What happens if we simply do what's best for our own body? Okay, so all that sadness, feeling not listened to, feeling censored. What's happening with these hands over your mouth? Being covered, not being allowed to speak, feeling seen because you are speaking out. So much going on. And then with our face covered, I also went for a pedicure while I was in Turkey. It's very exciting. And we were all sitting there with our masks because I like to respect the shop owners because they can get fined. And I realized our whole language had changed. Obviously they were speaking Turkish, but their English was pretty good. And we started doing this. So rather than speaking and smiling at each other, we started giving cat smiles because our whole language, our whole body language started changing. And I realized we were doing this in the airport. So because I didn't think people were seeing me smile, I would close my eyes. This is a new thing. This is a change. We're not used to this. Now we can only see people's eyes. And they say that the eyes are the windows to our soul. But have we actually even bothered to look at even our own eyes? It's different. It's a new learning, a new way to communicate. This can put us into fight or flight. So be gentle. Yeah, Bernard is saying the mask means I can't read people's expressions. However, again, Stephen Porges talks about and I can never pronounce it, I'm not going to say it, I'll put it in the chat box later. This here is so important, this part of our face, so that we can communicate our love and our compassion. My ears don't like being told what to do. I'm not being listened to. The authorities don't understand. They're not wearing masks. Why do we have to? We have to wear masks in shops and not here and not there. All this conflict. Simply overwhelming. Check in. We've got a fantastic iridologist here. I look at eyeball all the time. Beautiful, Joan. Where are you feeling all of this in your body? And now I'm going to invite you to go back to that. Take a short breath in and blow out long, as if you're blowing into a wind instrument. Short breath in. What's happening in your bodies? I'm just going to check the time. What's coming up for you guys now? Perhaps we can start reframing a few things. I read a quote on Facebook about everything is going to be okay in the end. Because if it's not the end. How do you feel when I said that? Where are you feeling that in your body? what's happening with everybody. Is anybody coming up with anything big, a big trauma? Put it in your beautiful box, lock it away, reach out for a swap partner or practitioner afterwards. If you're feeling overwhelmed, look around the room, 5 colors, touch 4 things. You're safe in the here and now with me. Beautiful, Sheila. My ears feel listened to now. Discomfort in my lungs. All this discomfort in my lungs. What color, shape and texture? Give it a shape, a color, a texture. And think of a time that you remember laughing out loud or singing out loud with joy, and breathe that into your lungs, because lungs are about life. My feet are talking to me, just feeling calmly defiant. Is it time that we embrace our own sovereignty and start listening to our bodies and what's best for our bodies? All this black and dense in my lungs, this black and dense. Just check in with whatever is going on in your bodies to make sure it's yours. It might be the collective. There are big things going on globally, politically. Grey stone in my throat. Keep on tapping. Is it yours? If it's not, what do you choose to do with that? I choose to give it back to whoever it belongs to with love and compassion. I choose to let it go up into the stars. Breathing life into my lungs. And now what I'd like you to do is laugh. Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! See, I know there's a yoga way, the lion. Ha ha ha! That doesn't make you laugh, but again you see our breaths are longer out than in. Ho 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 ho! I sound like one of the 7 dwarfs. What's happening in your bodies? Take that short, sweet, sharp breath in. Blow it out. And I would like to share with you, as you keep on doing this, these short little breaths in, longer breaths out, observing what's happening in your body, check in with your ears. Rumi, and I'm going to read this because, as you know, my memory is sometimes elusive, to say the least. He has written a short poem about breathing. And he says that there's a way of breathing that can be a shame and a suffocation. However, there's another way of expiring. And remember, this was translated. So that expiration is a love breath that lets you, I've got this pinned up here, but I can't see it now, that lets you open to infinity. So think about that. There's different ways to breathe. You now have a choice. You can choose to breathe with shame and suffocation, or choose to breathe with love. And remember, our ears and our breath are all part of that polyvagal nervous system. And so if we've been triggered in the past, this will trigger us now. However, now, do we give ourselves permission to breathe? Tension in lungs are easing. Keep on tapping. be consistent and persistent. Rebecca's saying that she likes the idea we can communicate more through our eyes with our mouths and nose covered than if we had our eyes covered and our mouths uncovered. Yes. Mila, yes, please do listen again. Let's just check in to make sure where we all are. And if something is persisting, simply go back to the karate chop, the side of hand, even though I have this persistent and resistant remaining whatever color texture is going on in my body. I choose to now release it with my love breath. This persistent and resistant feeling in my body. This persistent and resistant feeling, I choose to breathe with love, because I am love. We are all connected in the matrix. Lisa's saying that she did a laughter yoga workshop last week. Reminded me how fantastic it is for our breath and immune system too, and how good it is to laugh. And I'm going to be really naughty now. We're slightly overrun, and YouTube might ban me, but I'm going to put on one of my favorite tunes just for 30 seconds, otherwise Facebook will kick me off. And it is Happy. We're just going to fast forward that. So let's tap along. You can sing. I'm not going to sing because it'll trigger you all. So where are we all? Did I lose you all there? So let's just check in that you're all safe. Please do rewatch. I will put a little PDF together for a little bit more breathing exercises. Go and sing. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you all soon. I've forgotten how to switch off now. It's been so long. Bye-bye, everyone. Oh, how do I switch off? Oh, there it is. It's on the other side. Bye, everyone.